Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon, and this is going to be all about my Oracle deck collection. So stay tuned. We are going to go through a bunch of crap load of cards. I have a lot of Oracle decks. Okay, so let's get started. So astrological Oracle. I have actually talked about this deck a couple times to my Tumblr blog followers because lots of us, and myself included, are talking about astrological tarot. And so there's a tarot deck, I guess, that I'm going to be looking into getting that has the astrology theme to it. This is a deck, it's an oracle deck. I have not used it to do readings. I'm not big on astrology. I don't know much about it, but I hope to someday. But this deck is so pretty and it photographs really well. So that's the back of the cards, and then here's the front, and they have a little shine to them. Isn't that so pretty? So all of the decks, all of the cards have a shine to them, and they're just really, really pretty. So that is the astrological oracle. And even though I don't use it, I don't regret buying it because it's so pretty. Here's the box. Okay, next we have Spirit Messages. This is a deck I use for spirit readings, also for spirit guide readings sometimes, or just if I feel intuitively called to use this deck. So the back of the cards have butterflies, and then there is an image. It's a glossy feel too to the cards. And then there's a large portion that will give you some insight on the message of the cards. So if it'll, there you go. So these are really good cards for getting some insight on yourself. A really good kind of like a self-discovery deck. I really love these cards. The messages that come through are so pretty. The artwork is really pretty as well. So yeah, that is the Spirit Messages Oracle by John Holland. And he also did the Psychic Tarot that I mentioned earlier in the other video. He also did another deck that I'm going to show you, and I'll show you right now. This is probably one of my most used decks in my collection. I use this deck anytime I do love reading. So anytime a client asks me for a love reading or some sort of a question that has to do with love, this is the deck that I pull most of the time. The backs are green and they're really, really pretty. And then the front will have a message and the message is at the bottom. It's supposed to be a tarot theme. I don't, like I said, I think of these cards more as oracle than tarot. But they have messages really, really good for bringing you together and bringing you in touch with relationships and relationship insight. So I love using these cards for relationship readings. The other cool thing about these cards is, just like the Psychic Tarot, they have chakra cards. So the chakra cards are really cool to use for chakra readings or giving insight on which area of yourself that you are not balanced and you need more focus with. So that is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart by John Holland. Next, let's talk about the fairies. So this is the Fairies Oracle. And this deck, I was at a tarot class where we were learning to read the cards and stuff. So I took a class once or twice, and I met some really cool people. But I also learned how to read intuitively because the instructor, she told me she had a feeling about me that I was very intuitive. And so she trusted me with one of her decks. She let me use it, and this was a deck of cards that she let me use. She said that she felt it was the more advanced cards in the deck that she had for everybody to work with. And so she asked me to pull cards and read, and that's what I did. And I really learned how to read intuitively with these cards. So when the class was over, I wanted to purchase this deck because I wanted to continue working with my intuition. So I purchased the deck, and this is a deck of cards that I will pull to challenge my intuitive connection. It's really easy to read basic meanings for tarot cards if you know the meanings by heart. But it's another when you use the meaning of the card mixed with your personal intuition for that particular client. And that's what I've learned how to do, and that's how I read the cards. And that deck right there helped me connect intuitively with myself. And then the other deck of cards that I have that's not in a box, and of course with my nasty little rubber bands, I'm so horrible. These are the medicine cards. So these are the backs, and the medicine cards are animal cards associated with a number, and then you have the animal. I've used these cards for animal guide readings. I love them, but I have not been using them too much lately. And that is because I have another deck of animal cards that I actually prefer over these. This is a little whale. I love him. The whale is my animal. And I'll show you those next because these animal cards are the ones that I use for my animal readings. And they are the animal messages cards. I purchased this deck at Barnes & Noble a while back. I think it was like probably maybe my third or fourth Oracle deck that I bought. And I just remember when I bought them, I was like, yeah, it was kind of like a splurge buy. I wasn't really looking for a deck. I just saw them and I wanted them. And then when I opened them up and I started to work with them, I was like, wow, I'm really glad that I purchased this. This is a cool find. So here are the backs of the cards. And it's really pretty, like little owls and stuff. And so the cards themselves will have a large image of the animal. And then the message is at the bottom. So lots of different animals. So this is the deck that I use for my animal guide reading that I have available in my shop. And then also for the $5 animal reading, I will pick a card from this deck along with a couple tarot cards, and do readings like that. So when it comes to animal messages and animal readings, this is the deck that I use. I don't use any other deck, and I don't really feel like I need any other kind of animal deck. This is probably my most favorite. So it was a really good buy. I'm really glad that I bought the deck spontaneously. Next, I have Madame and Dora's fortune cards. This is a deck that I purchased for my spooky readings in October, and I love it. Love the cards. I love the size. I love the way they smell. I love the way they shuffle. They're like a thin material, like a thin cardstock. They shuffle easily. The images are just gorgeous. The artwork is just really like bright and in your face. The backs of the cards are just so regal. I just think that they're just so beautiful. And then the messages are spot on. I have had nothing but positive messages, and even really blunt messages for the clients. But they all resonate with the clients. I have not had a client tell me that they did not like their reading with these cards. So if anybody is looking for an oracle deck that's simple to use, I would highly, highly, highly recommend this deck of cards, which is Madame and Dora's fortune cards. I highly recommend it. They're easy to work with, and very straightforward and very blunt. And I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. I bought a latte tonight. And it's nice, it's warm, but I'm one of those girls where I can't drink hot teas. I can't drink hot coffees if they're super hot. I've burned my tongue countless times, so I'm one of those people that I'll put ice cubes in my coffee just to cool it down until it's like warm enough to drink, and then I'll drink it. Okay, next, Fallen Angel Oracle. One of my favorite cards, one of my favorite decks to work with. It's gorgeous. Here are the backs. They have a very glossy sheen to them. And the cards are so pretty. I think of them as like a garden, like you're walking through a garden or walking through an old cemetery with gorgeous artwork. Oh, they're just so pretty. So this deck of cards I love to use for my Fallen Angel readings, my demon readings. It's just a really, really cool deck to use. I have a particular client that actually loves me using this deck for them. So I pretty much purchased the deck because of them, and then I'm glad that I did because it works really well for a lot of different kinds of insight. Then I have the Halloween Oracle, and this deck is probably one of my favorites. The backs of the cards look like this. And then you have the message. Ooh, the witch. I love it. So real glossy, but the images are very Halloween-y. Here's the vampire. So yeah, Halloween Oracle. You guys have to check that one out. If you guys don't own it and you love Halloween, you need to have that deck in your collection. Oracle of Mermaids. Like I said, I love mermaids. They're my favorite. This is the backs of the cards. So again, these cards are glossy. And then the fronts. Really pretty cards. So again, if you guys are fans of mermaids, this is definitely a deck that you want to add to your collection. This is the Oracle of Mermaids, and it reads really well. It's one of my favorites. And like I said, I think seriously, I think for February, I'm gonna do the Daily Mermaid finally, because we need to get some mermaids in my blog. Secret Language of Color. This is one of my newer decks, and I love it so much. So I've been using this deck for aura readings that I do for clients. Here's the backs. So aura readings, I also have a brand new reading in my shop where I'm dying for someone to purchase. It's the unicorn reading. And so I'm going to be using this deck to pull colors for that. Look at how pretty. They're just so vibrant with their colors. And I love colors, and I love associating the colors in the readings. So that's the language of color. And it's just a really, really cool deck. I love these cards for kind of like advice cards, or just like a little to add at the end of the reading. So love that one. I have a little notice here pop up. Okay. Oh my God, I have so many. Okay. Magical Mermaids and Dolphins. This is my first Oracle deck that I ever purchased. So when I was working with the tarot cards, I was also getting into Oracle, and this was the first Oracle deck I bought. I highly recommend it, not just because it's mermaids, but I highly recommend it because they are very easy to read, and it's a very positive deck for people who need uplifting energies and uplifting messages. So here are the backs of the cards, and the cards themselves will have an image of a mermaid, a large border, and then a cute little message. So I highly recommend this deck, you guys. They're just so sweet. They're really sweet. So you're going to be seeing more of these cards because I will be pulling from this deck a lot for the Daily Mermaid, but we got to wait till February. Sorry, I'm going a little fast. I'm already 13 minutes in, and I still have a few cards to go through. This is the Flower Therapy card. I bought this at Barnes & Noble. This was also a spontaneous buy, but I'm glad I did. So here are the backs of the cards, like a garden. They are golden. They have gold edges, so really pretty. And then the cards themselves will have an image of the flower, the title, the name of the flower, and the message, and then the message here at the bottom. So really cool cards to work with. I love them. They're so pretty. So I use these for flower readings that I have. I also like to pull these cards for the Oracle, the weekly Oracle readings, because the messages are just really cool to use for a weekly, weekly affirmations. Okay, then I have the Cats Oracle. This was a random buy. I wanted a deck that was super cheap. I found it on Amazon. I purchased it, and I was so glad I did. So cute. So here are the backs. And then there's a picture of the cat and a little message. So you'll get the name, the kind of cat it is, but then also a message, like a one-word message for each card, just to kind of get your intuition rolling so you can start delivering messages. Oops, that's upside down. Isn't he cute? So if you guys are cat lovers, there is a cat oracle out there, and I found it, and it was cheap. So highly recommend the cats. oracle. This is the Wisdom of the House of Night oracle. This goes by books. So if you guys have read the series, I think I read three books out of the series, but there's so many more. Here are the backs. It follows the series, but you don't necessarily have to read the series in order to read the cards. And then you'll have like a really, really pretty image and then the word at the bottom. I love reading with these cards, but they challenge me. There are some messages on here, like this is meditation. That's pretty easy to read. But there's some of them on here that it stumps me. So I like to pull this deck out to give myself readings because it really makes me think. And I can always use a challenge with the cards because even I get stumped with stuff all the time, especially when I'm reading for myself. This is one of my favorite oracles and one of my most used oracles. This is the Magical Times Empowerment cards. And I purchased this at a witch shop that I was visiting when I was on my honeymoon. So that's probably why the energy of this deck is so romantic and I love it. Here are the backs of the cards. I use this deck specifically for my spirit guide readings because I feel like the messages that come through with these cards are meant to be taken as kind of like subtle hints or pieces of advice from some higher being. And I just think that the spirit guides kind of give us those types of messages. So a lot of positive affirmations through these cards, but these are the cards that I use for my spirit guide readings. So if anyone is curious about my spirit guide readings, this is the oracle deck that I use along with the major arcana of the tarot. Next is the Crystal Oracle, which I have not read with. I haven't even read for myself yet, so I got to do that. But I've been so focused on other cards that I've purchased that I haven't really used this, but I'm going to be working with this soon because I want to offer crystal readings. So here's the backs of the cards. Whew, they're very glossy. And then you have a large image of the crystal, and then of course the name of the crystal. So obviously, if you are not familiar with a lot of the crystals out there, you're going to want to use the guidebook. And that is probably another reason why I have not read with the cards because of that whole fact. I know some crystals, but I am not familiar with all of them. So there are definitely going to be some times when I pull the cards and I'm going to have to read with the guidebook that comes with it. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, especially with Oracle. I think Oracle is so different. We don't have to follow a strict, guideline to them. As like with the tarot, it's a little different. Oracle is very loose and spontaneous. At least that's how I feel about it. Okay. Then we have the soul cards. These cards, they're so amazing. So it's so hard to get them out of this package. Okay. So here's the backs of the cards. It's like a blue background. And then the fronts of the cards, there are no borders. And it's just a large image and there's no words. And that's so cool. Even the guidebook doesn't give you any insight. And you know why? Soul cards are meant to be intuitive. You're supposed to read with them intuitively. Just like those fairy cards that I was showing you. Intuitive reading. So whatever you feel, whatever you think when you see the picture, that is how you start to spark your intuition. And that is why I love these cards, because I do offer actually a soul reading, but I'm going to be doing one for as a freebie that I was offering on my website, on my blog, I mean. And I want to see how this client, what this person thinks about the reading, because I really want to get to work with the soul cards a little bit more to spark my intuition and work with that. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. This is another new deck of cards that I have. I read with them for myself. They're very pretty. So here's the backs. They have gold edges. And then you'll have a really, really pretty image. Very fairy tale-like. And then the message at the top. So I love this deck. I have not read with it for other people, but I have read with it for myself. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works with clients. It's always nice to see how a new deck will work. 2 more, okay. I told you guys I have a lot. Okay, magical unicorns. This is probably another one of my favorites. I have been wanting this deck for quite some time, and then I finally purchased it, and I don't know why I waited so long. It's so cute. It is so positive. It's so pretty. So you have a large image of a unicorn on the back. You have golden edges. And then you have a picture of the unicorns as well as a message. So you have the main, and then you'll have the message here at the bottom. This deck is so pretty, and I have already created the unicorn reading to go along with the color cards that I have. So you guys, if you love unicorns, if you feel connected to them, to the unicorns, and you need a positive reading, the unicorn reading is for you, definitely. So check it out. I'm really eager to use this reading for people, so check it out. Last but not least is my Fairies Oracle deck. This was gifted to me by one of my clients, Brittany. So Brittany gave this deck to me along with a bunch of other beautiful things, and it was just in this big package with a lot of stuff. And she gifted this deck to me because I don't know if she just didn't connect with it or what, but when I received it, it was like meant to be. And I started photographing them. This is the backs. I just really love the cards, and I've been using them a lot. I can't move them out of the way. I can't get them out of order. Ooh, excuse me. Because I'm using these for the daily fairy. So you got a sneak peek of what tomorrow's is. But anyway, so the daily fairy, I'm doing that. So I've already shuffled them, and then I've been going in order. So I'm not going to mess with that. But this is the Fairies Oracle, and I love it. I love it. So thank you, Brittany. And that's it. Oh my gosh, if you guys could see, like seriously, if you guys can see, I have so many cards. So many. Now I messed with my camera, so I'm probably not going to get it to stay. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. The next video that I'll have up will be my collection of the angel cards, which isn't as large. It's my smallest collection, but just wanted to share that with you guys. If you want to see any of the other decks that I've showed in this video, if you want to see it in more detail, let me know, and I could do a separate video for them. Okay? See you guys later. Bye.